Hey guys, it's Wyatt from Wyatt's Woodworks, and today we're going to be building a Hackberry and Walnut necklace holder.
First, we're going to go ahead and get started with some tool maintenance. Okay guys, so for the planer outfeed tables and bed, I'm going to be using some simple green to clean off all the gunk and sap from woods, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply a paste wax to smooth everything out. Now that our tools are ready, let's get started.
I began by laying out the dimensions for the necklace holder. This necklace holder will be a box with 2 Hackberry prongs coming up from the back that will be held in by walnut screws. The top and bottom of the box for the necklace holder will be approximately 10 by 4.5 inches. The sides will be 5 by 4.5 inches. The back 5 by 10. We will have an inset drawer. The drawer front will be 3 1/8 by 8 1/4. The back of the drawer will be 11 1/4 with the sides and the 7 15/16 back, and that will be for the dimensions of the drawer. As I continued to cut the pieces to size, that will be the shell of the box. I cut the pieces slightly oversized to go back later on the table saw to cut the 45-degree angles. Just as a little tip, and as I build more of these necklace holders, I know to either use a cross-cut sled when I cut 45-degree angles like these, or cut them on the miter saw, because cutting a 45-degree angle on a long board like this, the angle tends to mess up some.
So unfortunately, my battery died when I was doing the sides of the box for the drawers. I got the rest of the box cut. I have 45-degree angles that keep the box together, and then 45-degree angles on the front and back, because we're going to have an inset drawer, and then our back is going to fit in through the 45-degree angles as well. We have our backs. It's just 45-degree angles cut all the way around, and that is the exact same for the top and the bottom. I also have the sides. This is about the size of the box we'll be getting here, and this doesn't include the inset drawer front or the plywood they'll be using for the inside of the drawer. Then I also have the front here, which I cut to the inside dimensions of the box, and this will fit right in as a drawer front.
After measuring and labeling my pieces with some painter's tape, I moved on to cutting the back and bottom of our drawer out of 1/8" plywood. So here I began measuring and preparing to cut my hackberry parts that will be coming out of the end and back of the box for the drawer. And I cut the tenons with the stop block on the miter saw, and I cut the bottom tenon using a 6x6 clamped to my fence on my table saw. I then clamped the hackberry part to the 6x6 and made several passes.
Okay guys, so as you can see here, we've got all of our parts cut, and we have the top part of what will be the holders of the necklace cut as well. We have our 2 hackberry parts cut, and these will be standing on the back, and then our walnut piece will be attached to these to hold on the top. So as this, we will cut holes in, and these hackberry parts will be able to fit right into this. Oh yeah. Okay, now that we have chiseled out the sockets for the hackberry tenons in this piece, now I have a strip of hackberry, and this is going to be used as a dowel in the back to hold these hackberry tenons to the back.
Here I began cutting the insets that will be holding the tenons for the dowels, and will also be attaching the hackberry pieces to the back of the box. Next, I began cutting a channel in the back of the drawer front, and this will hook onto 2 walnut pieces that will be inside the drawer that will be holding the drawer and drawer face into the box. And the reason why I did this was because the drawer was not big enough to use any slide. I then, using a inch hole saw, drilled a hole into the front as a pull-out handle and then ran over it with a 1/4 inch roundover and a palm router. The top part that will be inset onto the Hackberry tenons will hold 3 hooks with 2 Hackberry accents on the ends.
Okay guys, so now we have almost all of the parts cut. I have all the parts cut. As you guys saw, I cut the small dowels for the back of the tendons. That'll be keeping it into the back of the box. And I've got everything cut to size. I cut our channel in the back of the drawer front, and this will allow for these blocks that are on the sides to fit into. Then we can sand and glue up.
With this project, I sanded from 120 up to 320 grit on my palm router, and because these were smaller pieces and the sandpaper would go through them quickly, I kept the random orbital sander on a low setting. After sanding and a couple of mock glue-ups, I decided to finally start up the glue-up. Here I am using blue painter's tape as a guide and a small clamp, you could say, to hold the box together until I can get clamps and straps onto it. Once the carcass of the box was dry and out of clamps, I moved on to gluing the top piece of the tenons together. Once those were dry and all glued onto the back, I used a Japanese flush cut saw to cut off the rest of the dowels, and make sure you stay a little bit away from the hackberry piece on a cut like this because the saw still will scratch up the hackberry. To finish a project like this, because it is not a table or charcuterie board or something that will get a ton of wear, I am using a butcher block oil, and a walrus oil will look good as well. After putting it on decently thick, I let it sit for about 15 minutes, then go back to buff. Hey guys, I hope you like this walnut and hackberry necklace holder project. We did a drawer with an inset face, and this would be perfect for storing any of your rings, earrings, or necklaces.